A lion, fights a tiger, fights a bear, but gets scared of his own son Absalom when Absalom comes against him. Because it says something that when people betray you that's close to you, it hurts even the more. Yeah. I can fight an enemy, but I can't fight a friend who's a friend of me. Yeah. And so I think it's very important that we learn our staff and we staff our weaknesses. We got to have loyal people on our staff that don't have the same ability as us, but have the ability to cover us when we are weak. One of the problems with Noah's son is Noah's sons tried to expose his nakedness. You cannot have anybody in your life that for the sake of popularity is willing to expose your weaknesses. Come on. You cannot have anybody in your life for the sake of knowing your business, they're willing to expose your weaknesses. Because everybody in here has a weakness. I don't care who you are, everyone in here has a stutter. But you got to have the right staff around you that's going to cover your stutter.
All right, good stuff. Pastor Shonda, Pastor Tyree talked about, and I want each of you actually to briefly answer this. Pastor Tyree just talked about staff. As a leader, how is the vision of your ministry and or business, because you all are business owners as well, how is the vision of your ministry or business conveyed to your staff or your members?
One thing that we've made an intentional effort to do is spend a lot of time with our leaders, really sharing vision, sharing our intentions, what our goals are, where we desire to be, and the steps that we're going to take to get there, and listening to Pastor Tyree, staffing people that can help us get there, staffing our weaknesses. It was very important to us for people to be integral. It was extremely important for us to use people that are skilled. It was important to us in the hospitality area to have people that are infectious, that inspire, that's a part of who they are. Not that we had to develop that quality in them. So it starts even in new membership class. Vision is really conveyed. Our mission is really conveyed, what that looks like, why we believe what we believe. Our core values are really explained. We take a lot of surveys to try to find out who they are, not because you're here, but who you are as a person. So even when we were looking for leaders, picking people that already had qualities on the inside of them that we could develop even better, but it was already on the inside of them. So I have so much I want to say, but I don't want to take up all the time. So I'll just end with that.
Okay, it's good. I was jealous of you all at Maggiano's, I want you to know. Because that's one of my spots that Pastor Darius.
But even in that, even though we're showing appreciation, it's still intentional to, they might not have realized even in that you're being celebrated, but you're still being developed.
Yeah.
Because we want them to appreciate their teams.
Right.
So pouring into our top tier leaders, in turn, they repeat that. Mm-hmm. Dr. Stennis says something, I promise you, I'm going to get a shirt made. I wrote it down. I think Pastor took it from me. Mirror what I stand for, I think it was. You know, so we're very intentional about that. Mirroring what we stand, we want to see that in our leaders. And in turn, our leaders pour that into the people that are on their teams.
Dr. Linda, same question. I know personally, those of us who are from Salvation and Deliverance, we know how you guys convey your ministry vision to us. Everybody else doesn't know. Share that.
Just many of the things that Pastor Shonda said is conveying your vision, the whole thing. You should have a vision. You should have, it should be easily, properly, simply conveyed to your, not just your staff, but your church. All of that she said basically is what we do and what we've done for years. But what you have to do also is, from time to time, you have to really step back and take a look at what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And, you know, should you shift? Should you just, one of the problems many times in the church is that sometimes we don't know when to stop doing certain things. Sometimes we just, some things we do is not forever.
That's good.
Some ideas you have are for then. You know, you do have to be trendy. You do have to kind of know where, you know, how things are changing in the culture and, you know, what the climate is. I'm talking spiritual climate. You have to know that because you've got to know when to shift. And the problem is that sometimes we do things because we see other people do them. Or we heard other people say, oh, you should have this, you should do this, this worked for me, you should have so many classes of this, you should take them through so many hours or classes on deliverance and on this, on that. You know, we have to know the culture of our church. Because every church has a culture.
Yes.
Absolutely. Every church, and you're known by the culture of your church. Some churches, they're like, you know, they teach, basically do mostly teaching, and they're big on the word, and then some are big on the prophetic, or big on deliverance, or big on, you know, if someone walk into your church, or let's just say an alien from an outer space. I know I might have said that in the book. If they arrive here on Earth, seriously, they will pick up what depending on what kind of church they're looking for.
Absolutely.
They will be able to tell by the culture of your church. So you all got to buy that book, Culture Shock. I'm just saying, I'm just saying, because it is so much in there regarding it. Heaven has a culture.
Yes.
Your church has a culture.
Yes.
You know, your home has a culture. You know, it's just a lot. We have not, you know, it's sad. Some people don't want to buy your book because they think you know more than they do. Amen.
True.
And it's really terrible that they won't hear what you got to say. Or what God has given you. He's given you something totally special and different in the body. I'm pointing to you, little girl. You know, I have a lot of little girls around here. But seriously, and they don't, you can learn something. And so because of that, we're all different in the body of Christ, and we can learn from each other, depending on what God has given us. So you have to step back and just see, what am I doing? We've been doing this for years. I'm not going to keep doing this. This is not effective anymore. This is not producing. If it's not producing, you better believe it. You all know, we'll shift in a minute. We shift with God because it's not about, oh, maybe it was good for them, but it's not working right now.
Yes.
You know, it's time, just like with the sale of our church. 33 years in one place, there's nothing wrong with that. Literally nothing at all. You know, some people, why did they sell? They got a church, and many people want a church. People are looking for that. Well, you know, to God be the glory. In our early 20s and 30s, nobody owned cathedrals.
Right.
Do you hear me? And today, it is hard. It was God for us to sell their church because most churches don't have any money to buy a church.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. So we had to send somebody because they just don't have it, and we knew that. Yeah. We was like, we could put it on the market, but why would we put it on the market and have a bunch of people looking at it that can't buy it?
Yeah.
Because that's where things are. It was like that years ago. Yeah. Seriously, it's hard to get loans if you are a church. Yes. It is hard, and with the percentage that you need to have, just kind of tying this in together because of the years. Some people look at, you know, but when you know what God's called you to do, you know. People might not understand it because they're looking at it from their point of view is that you have what other people want.
Yeah. You
have something, you own it, you paid it off. You don't even have a mortgage. Mm-hmm. So that's to God be the glory. Yeah. How in the world? That's my business.
Absolutely.
Sense. It is the glory of God, and it's God just giving us what to do. But you have to know what to do, when to do. You got to know times and seasons, when to shift, when to change things, when to move into whatever area God is calling you to do. And that's people are lacking that in the body of Christ.
Absolutely.
So, but we've experienced it, and we yet continue to experience it. But conveying the vision, knowing when to change, knowing when to shift, knowing when this is played out, this is no longer good, you know, and not just keep doing something because you've done it and it was good for them.
Because see, what happens with that is that I believe that some people feel